Ladies and gentlemen, I gotta tell you, I feel like a proud dad today, and Mario Cristobal is like 6 or 7 years older than me. 6, 7. I hate that shit. My kids say that crap every day. But Mario Cristobal is probably about 6 or 7 years older than I am. I'm 48 next week. Remember that. You can shoot me over, a super chatter or the Cash App. I appreciate y'all. Kidding now. I'm kidding, obviously, but I turn 48 next week. I think Mario's like 55, something like that, because he was in college when I was in high school. Maybe he's a little bit younger. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't looked it up. But Mario Cristobal has been making the rounds this week. I got to tell you, I wish he had been making them all year, and I wish he had been standing on business all year with the rankings, especially when the first college football playoff ranking came out that had Miami at 18 and Notre Dame at number 10. But he has really, really put on his big boy pants this week. He is making the rounds on every show he can get on, national media members who all seem to agree with the fact that Miami should be ranked number 10. And we're going to jump in on all this stuff right now. Welcome back to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez. Show mod, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell. Leave y'all comments, man. I appreciate y'all support of the channel. Follow us on social media. And also give a shout out to our sponsor of the show, Natalie Lopez, attorney at law. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in criminal defense and family law. You can reach her at 954-888-8833. You can follow her on Instagram at nat.guilty, nat.guilty. She practices in the state of Florida and is based out of Fort Lauderdale. So give her a call today if you have a need in either criminal work or family law. Appreciate you, Natalie, as always. So Mario Cristobal yesterday at at signing day, suited and booted, man. Professional, eloquent, and he had some stuff to say to the media and let the world know what was really going on here. And we're gonna dig in on this, but let's take a listen as to what Mario Cristobal had to say because it's all true, man. Like, it's all true. This was the epic shots fired mic drop, courtesy of Kane's Corner, where I grabbed this off Instagram. Shout out Kane's Corner. Go follow them. He ain't playing games, man. And I think everyone's hearing it. National media seem to be really on the hurricane train. And I don't care what the AP idiot voters say because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're absolutely clueless. When you have a voter that ranked Miami number 17 behind James Madison, North Texas, and Tulane, ranked them by another voter who ranked them behind USC, and USC lost to Notre Dame and has 3 losses. But let's take a listen to this thing because this was beautiful. This was absolutely freaking beautiful. I feel like a proud dad, and I'm really glad that Mario Cristobal is doing this now because he needs to do this. It's got to be done. Let's go.
Games. Just like, we're being compared to obviously to Notre Dame in a lot of different forms and fashions, but the totality of our resume got just as strong or stronger than anybody else. And after their first 2 losses, right, their resume got stronger. But when you break it down, those 10 games, 2 were against group of 5 opponents. And of the other 8 games, 6 of those games were against defenses that were ranked 105 and beyond, right? 105 to 127. So I think when you start looking at the true facts surrounding a resume and how a resume is actually built, I think all those things will be taken into account. And I respectfully will always provide any and all information to whoever it is necessary so we could have a fair and honest judgment and decision on what is the reality that we're the best and most deserving team.
Boom. So now you can see the actual schedule. And I'm glad this is here as well because it's really important for people to see the actual schedule that Notre Dame has played in order to get ranked at number 10, okay, in the first CFP voting. Now, the clown chairman has gone on record and actually really truly exposed himself because he's better off not talking. How this guy got a job as an athletic director, as a leader of people, is befuddling to me because every time that guy speaks, he one sounds petrified and two, he sounds incompetent. And he sounds like he's making stuff up as he goes. They probably should shut his mouth, zip his lip, and not allow him to comment. Realistically, no one on the committee should be commenting after every poll. I'm being real. That's just my opinion. They have a poll, they make their vote. They should, at that point, shut the freak up because what's happening is their own words are coming back to bite them in the butt every single week. Okay. Every week, they're biting them in the ass. Now, you can look at this schedule. They lose to Miami. They lose to Texas A&M. No one thought Texas A&M would be 11-1. But when you dissect everyone's schedule and you dissect opponents, right? You can go look at Texas A&M's schedule. After Notre Dame, Texas A&M did not play a good team all year until they played Texas. Period. They puffed up their schedule on garbage cans in the SEC. They didn't play anyone in the top half of the SEC until they played Texas, and they lost. They had massive struggles with multiple teams, including 2-10 Arkansas. They won 45-42. They beat South Carolina 31-30. I mean, those are two bad SEC teams, and somehow it didn't impact Texas A&M at all. Let that have been Miami having a close game, for which Miami had no close games outside of the two games that they lost, and those were close games. But Miami had no close game victories. They dominated every game they won outside of Notre Dame. In fact, that game was only close because honestly, Mario Cristobal took his foot off the gas because Miami was up 24-10 with 7 minutes to go of that game. Miami had dominated that game from the beginning to about the 7-minute mark in the fourth quarter. And everything that Notre Dame people have been talking about for quite some time at this point has become ridiculous because they say, oh, we didn't have a defensive coordinator. It was a new DC. We had a new quarterback. We had new this. We had new that. Miami had a new defensive coordinator coming off of a team last year that had no defense whatsoever. Miami had new players all across the defense. You go look at the secondary. Most of those guys weren't here last year. They weren't. Keontae Scott, Jacoby Thomas, Bryce Fitzgerald, all major playmakers in this year's defense. Damari Brown was hurt most of the year. OJ Frederick is the only guy that was really back. Everyone else was pretty much brand new. Mo Torres, a starting linebacker. I mean, Akeem Mesdor was hurt most of last year. Ruben Bain was hurt most of last year. Like these are facts. So Miami had a completely new defense. We didn't know what we were going to have. We had no idea. We had no idea. Offensively, Miami had 5 new wide receivers, a brand new quarterback who had blown out his elbow. These are facts. 2 tight ends who really aren't that great, to be quite frank. Not the types of tight ends that Miami's had in the past. So these are things that are all factual. We had no idea what we had either. And yet we led 24-10 with 7 minutes to go in the fourth quarter against Notre Dame. Period. So it is what it is. And yes, they made a comeback. But guess what? Miami took that ball, went right down the field, and won the game. Period. That's what happened. You cannot erase it. You cannot men in black it like they've managed to do in this Alabama-Florida State loss. It's incredible how people have just completely forgotten about that. But look at the schedule. Purdue is 2-10. Purdue did not score 30 points against anyone after their first 2 games against the bums they played. They didn't score 30 points against anyone after their first 2 games. No one in conference did they score 30 points on. Notre Dame they put up 30 on. Arkansas, who happens to be the school that this incompetent chairman of the CFP is the athletic director of, they're 2-10. So they played back-to-back 2-10 teams. Back-to-back 2-10 teams. And they blew out Arkansas. But then I guess, that imbecile on the committee, maybe he only remembers that because probably the only game he saw all year because he's not watching football. And this is the same guy that said that Alabama's win over Auburn was so unbelievably impressive. blowing a 17-0 lead. Apparently, so if that was so impressive, how is Miami's win over Notre Dame not so impressive? Because, yeah, we had the lead. We were whooping their ass. They came back, and we finished the game off. That should be actually more impressive because Notre Dame is 10 times the team that Auburn is. And Miami Notre Dame has always been a rivalry game. So what are we talking about? Boise State, they went, 7-5, 8-4. They lost to USF. They got routed by USF, in fact. Miami beat USF by 39 points. NC State, so a mid-level Boise State team. Not a great Boise State team, a mid-level Boise State team. I'm not going to say a bad team because I don't go around calling people bad when they have winning records. You don't have a winning record and be bad. So they ended up 8-4. Okay. Boise State has losses to Fresno State. Fresno State beat Boise State by more than Notre Dame did. South Florida beat Boise State by more than Notre Dame did. San Diego State also beat them 17-7. This team was held to 7 points 4 times this year. Is that a good team? A good team? It's a mid-level team. But I'm not going to sit here and call them bad because that's how they managed to define SMU and Louisville, not to mention Boise State's not playing in the ACC. Let's not act like that conference they play in, the Big West or whatever, the Mountain West is better than the ACC. It's not. NC State, another mid-level team. Not a great team, but this game was 10-7. See the score 36-7? That game was 10-7 at the same point in which Miami led NC State 31-0. Okay? And then they played USC. That game was a solid win. USC was a good team, not a great team, a good team. And then they played Boston College. Boston College, another 2-10 team. So they puffed up their schedule on 2-10s, 3 2-10 teams. Notre Dame's strength of schedule is 1,000% predicated on their first 2 opponents, Miami and Texas A&M, 2 games that they lost. And the defenses of these teams, as Mario Cristobal alluded to, atrocious. Abso-freaking-lutely atrocious. We played NC State. We know how bad their defense was. They played Purdue, Arkansas, and Boston College 3 games out of 6. And you know what that did for Notre Dame? That was the week before Navy. And look, Navy actually has a decent squad, but it's still Navy. Navy doesn't beat Notre Dame. Like, this is, and I do know that Navy did beat South Florida. I do know this, by the way. It was at Navy. That was the best game they played all year. And South Florida played like trash. I watched the game. But let's be real. Navy doesn't beat Notre Dame. Navy's not that team. So, but going into Navy, that was when the first CFP dropped. And the first CFP dropped, and Notre Dame is ranked number 10 with this resume. This resume has them ranked number 10. You beat 3 bad teams. Not mediocre, bad. Like 3 of the worst teams in America. I mean, you can't be serious. And a mid-level NC State and a mid-level Boise State and a good USC. I mean, that's their strength of schedule. Then they go beat Navy, and then they beat up Pitt, and then their final 2 games are against a 3-9 and a 4-8 team. We played those 2 teams. We played all 3 of those last 3 teams. We then crushed Pitt 38-7. We beat Syracuse 38-10. We beat Stanford 42-7. And we played backups against Syracuse. We played backups against Stanford. We had injuries all of November. We played NC State. We played, 3 quarterbacks in that game? 3? We had our 4th string running back in the game. Are you kidding me? We had our 4th string running back. And remember, Gerard Pringle wasn't even playing early this season. I think it was the NC State game where he went off, and that's what opened up everyone's eyes to, oh, damn, Gerard Pringle's real. And we need to start this dude. And it also happened to be the same time that Mark Fletcher got hurt. So it became, oh, shoot, now is the time to do it. Now is the time. But can we stop this madness about how their schedule was? And now that got them ranked number 10 and Miami ranked number 18. Remember, 3 weeks before, Miami was ranked number 2 in the nation, had beaten Notre Dame, South Florida, Florida State, and was number 2 in the nation. And many people thought that Miami was the best team in the country. Did Miami's resume all of a sudden disappear because they lost to SMU and Louisville? And that imbecile in the committee, I don't even want to mention his name because I don't even know it, nor do I care. But this guy gets up there and says, he says this in an interview, Miami had lost 2 of its last 3 games going into the first CFP playoff. Who cares? Because your ranking is not supposed to be on what just happened. Your ranking is supposed to be on the entire body of work. And at that time, if you go look back at the body of work, now, mind you, I thought Miami would rank lower than that, to be honest, because I know how these idiots work. Because for number one, I thought Miami would get ranked lower in the AP poll. They didn't. They got ranked at 18. And guess where Miami got ranked in the CFP? Number 18. See, I kept telling y'all people who wouldn't listen to me that the AP poll mattered because these idiots don't know what they're talking about and they don't know what they're doing. They literally mimic the damn AP poll. You want to know who was ranked number 10th in the AP? You know who was the 10th ranked team in the AP poll? Guess. Notre Dame. You know where CFP ranked Notre Dame in that first CFP poll? Number 10. You cannot tell me that this is by accident because I know it's not. I know it's not. Like, we need to stop with the bull crap. We need to stop with it. And the bad Louisville team that they're talking about, the one that sucks and is a bad loss, at the time of the first CFP, Louisville was 7-1, and they were number 15 in the first CFP poll, 14 in the AP at that time. Texas, who had lost to Florida, was ranked 11th in the CFP. In fact, 2 spots higher than the AP. They had lost to a Florida team that Miami had smoked. And all they had done after that is beaten an absolutely fucking mediocre level Oklahoma who you know can't score. And Texas, you know who their wins had come against after losing to Ohio State? They beat San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston State, lost to Florida, beat Oklahoma, beat Kentucky in overtime by 3, and beat Mississippi State. I mean, what? And they'd also just beaten Vanderbilt. So they got the cookie for beating Vanderbilt. But they had 2 miserable games versus Mississippi State and Kentucky, got lucky to win, lost to Florida, and somehow they miraculously jumped to number 11. Like, this is what we're talking about. Again, their own rules say it doesn't matter when you win and lose. It's just that your resume is supposed to be graded on just a blank slate. I don't know what the AP does. I have no idea. I'm not supposed to care. I'm supposed to look at a resume and say XYZ. And at the time of Miami's wins, they beat a ranked Notre Dame number 6. They beat a ranked number freaking, I think it was 18 at first USF, and they beat a ranked number 17 Florida State at the time they played. Because the sure as shit, the way they judged Oregon, having beaten Penn State at the time, ranked number 3, and Penn State then proceeded to lose like 6 straight games. But this is why I told y'all that AP poll matters. The idiots that voted in that poll matter because the CFP, they don't have any idea. And then they realize, oh, damn, this team didn't lose again. They all thought they'd lose again. They didn't lose again. And here you are trying to climb them back up in the rankings. But you don't want to make it look so damn obvious that you just were fucking hating on Miami and you ranked them based on what you projected them to be, not what they actually were at the time. A team that still had one of the best resumes in America. At 6-2, Miami's resume was still better than Utah's, better than Virginia's, better than Vanderbilt's, better than Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech hadn't played nobody at that point. better than Notre Dame's, better than Oregon's, better than Texas Tech's. At that time, Ole Miss, you know who Ole Miss had played? Their toughest game had been against Georgia at that time, and they lost. Their best win at that time had been LSU. Maybe it was Oklahoma, but Oklahoma wasn't very good. Like, this is why you got to dig in deeper on these schedules that they claim are so great with the SEC. They're not. They haven't been. But this season starting with everyone ranked is what's just destroyed college football. You can't overcome it because all the SEC teams do is beat each other and they just flip-flop each other the whole damn season. If they stay remotely close, they never get dropped. They never get dropped. It's a joke. It's a joke. And Notre Dame, their whole fucking schedule is puffed on bullshit. They got bumped up on bullshit. On bullshit. And look where Notre Dame has been. They ain't moved off this number 10 number. 10, 9, 9, 9, and 10. 9 and 10. I mean, this is what it is. They've been stuck there because everyone knows the games they've played, the teams they've played. They look back and realize, yo, we puffed them up on dumpsters. Even the AP recognized it. Like, yo, we ranked this team against because they beat a bunch of bums. They beat bums. Bums. I don't know where strength of schedule, how it's derived anymore. I don't know how strength of record is derived. All I know is somehow Miami and Notre Dame are literally like this, 13-14 and 42-44. They're side by side. And Miami is 4-0 in ranked games and Notre Dame's 2-2. These are facts. And Miami has a head-to-head win over Notre Dame. And Miami's best win is by far better than Notre Dame's. And some of these Notre Dame clowns are saying, oh, well, they're only there because they beat Notre Dame. Not actually true, because if Miami had played Bama or Georgia or Ohio State or Indiana or Oregon or Ole Miss or Texas A&M and beaten them, Miami would be ranked ahead of Notre Dame right now for having beaten one of those teams. They wouldn't even have to have a win over Notre Dame because one of those teams would have been viewed as a better win because they're in the Big Ten, the SEC. Because Notre Dame, while they're respected, they're not fully respected. They're respected on brand. They're not respected on performance, because their performance this year, don't tell me they've been fantastic when they are up 12-10 against a 2-10 Boston College with a minute to go in the third quarter. Miami dropped a spot in the AP after beating Stanford 42-7 because that game was 7-7 at halftime. It's a fact. Notre Dame didn't drop for beating Boston College 25-10. Nope, sure didn't. Sure did not. In fact, they went up. They moved up after beating Boston College. So, yeah, Mario Cristobal, I love what he did. That was a mic drop moment. I love it. I'm so happy he did it. I hope he does it, continues to do it the rest of the week. I hope he does it hell, he needs to go to megaphone in front of that damn committee room and just megaphone their ass. I mean, I'm going to be real. I will be absolutely shocked at this point with the amount of national attention that's happening with this thing. And it's crazy because I always said the playoffs should have been 16 teams. And I think Notre Dame is a fantastic football team. I genuinely do. I've said it all year. I don't disrespect the team that I beat and then call them overrated. I think when people yell the word overrated, I think it is the dumbest thing on earth, because what you've just done when you do that is you demean and you reduce the quality of the win that the players just achieved. They're not overrated. They're damn good. They're a damn good team. And I think Notre Dame would beat almost everybody in the top 10. I don't think that Alabama's better than Notre Dame. I don't think that BYU is better than Notre Dame. I don't think Oklahoma's better than Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame would beat pretty much everybody in the top 10. I think the only two teams they might have some struggles with are Indiana and Ohio State. and of course, Miami. But this isn't about that because the reality is, end of the day, they're both 10-2. So they're not going to be ranked ahead of teams that have played shit ass schedules. Those SEC schedules, I promise you, do a deeper dive in it. I did it yesterday on Wednesday on my live. And I'm telling you, those schedules are shit. Those schedules are shit, complete shit. Go look at who Georgia beat non-conference. Outside of Georgia Tech, their games were brutal. Brutal. They weren't good. And the Georgia Tech team that had lost to Pitt a week earlier by 14 on their home field, Georgia only beat 16-9. But I thought the ACC was terrible. Florida State beat Alabama. I thought the ACC was terrible. 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 Please. Mario, kudos, man. I salute you. I criticize this man a lot, and I'm going to give him his flowers and give him his credit. I thought Miami against Pitt looked better than it's looked all year. I thought the sideline was very under control. I loved what I saw even from him. I got to give him his credit. I got to give him his flowers. And I love what he's doing this week because he's getting on every freaking show he can get on because whether it's Stephen A. Smith, Colin Coward, Paul Feinbaum, um, Aaron Murray, you even got Aaron Taylor who played for Notre Dame saying that Miami should be ranked ahead of Notre Dame. I mean, he played for Notre Dame, for Christ's sakes. You got every freaking Clay Travis, Scott Van Pelt, Nick Saban, Greg McElroy. It is across the board. The only clown that's glazing Notre Dame is Joey Galloway. He's the only guy doing it. Only guy, and maybe Kevin Carter, who played at Florida, because we know he's got ulterior feelings for that and as well. So again, Mario Cristobal, kudos to you, my friend. I love what you did. I hope you keep doing it. And man, you did it in a very eloquent way because I can tell you this, I don't have that eloquence. I'm in your face. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And maybe I'm not a politician when it comes to this shit. I'm not. I'm cut and dry, bro. And I would have blasted their freaking asses. I would have blasted them. And I don't think there's a fan around that would have been upset to see you blast on their asses. But you did it the right way, better than me. And that's why you're in the position that you are in. And hell, end of the day, whatever happens, happens. Nothing you can do about it at the end of the day. But I would be absolutely flabbergasted and shocked if BYU loses. If BYU loses, that Miami doesn't jump Notre Dame, I will be shocked. And if Alabama loses by more than a touchdown, I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a hard sell to keep Alabama ranked. I don't give a goddamn candy ass that they're the number one seed from the SEC. Go look at their schedule. It is not that damn good. And you can't men in black your way out of freaking making people forget that they got smoked by Florida State. But again, apparently week one games don't seem to matter unless Bama wins and unless Notre Dame wins. But that's all I got. Leave y'all thoughts in the comments. Saturday, bro. Saturday. It starts at 12. We got some games tomorrow. They don't impact us. Saturday at 12. We will be parked right behind us. I might even do a live. I might be live all day. I don't know. I might. I might just for the sake of it. Just so us Hurricane fans can congregate and absolutely go crazy when we watch BYU lose. And then right after, go watch Georgia get smoke Alabama. I'm telling you right now, we got the red and black all day. All day, red and black. Texas Tech and Georgia back to back. We red and black, bro. So that's all I got. Hit the comments, like the video, subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I appreciate y'all. And do follow our socials. I'm dropping lots of shorts there that I'm not dropping here on YouTube. So go over there and follow us there as well. I appreciate you. God bless. This is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.